Hello, and welcome to Baldur's Gate 3 inside Moonrise Tower post-battle. Since last time I checked stuff that I might have missed, I have people to talk to. I have to talk to the people here. I need to check if there's a character here who's still around, because I need to talk to them to trigger this. Like, there's one character that I've rescued, but there's one of the people I didn't talk to despite the fact that I rescued them, so it really should trigger anyway. I shouldn't have to verify, but whatever. Like, there's a character that I need to speak to in Last Light, if they're still there. If they aren't, too late, oh well. But for now, it's talking to the two companions, Withers, Jaheira, Aelin and Isabel, and Daniel and Halsin. I wonder what this happens if you actually have Halsin as... You don't have Halsin as a companion at this stage yet, right? It's like he always is just an NPC until after this event, I believe. Let's start with Gale, who I prevented from blowing himself up.
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long. I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands.
We're not out of the shadow-cursed woods yet, Gale. That's a good line. Let's say give him a chance.
The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete. I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power. The ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it.
This hat, as much as it fits the wizard aesthetic, really messes with his eyeline. Why is it all... Yeah... Why is the crown so important all of a sudden?
That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere.
He's definitely lying a little.
As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep. Sorcerous Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can.
I think he wants to learn for personal reasons. Baldurian Magic Shop. Be the first place we look. Let's get to Baldur's Gate first of all.
Indeed. The journey awaits. One foot in front of the other is tried and true, I find. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
This is not an issue with anything beyond, I guess, the layout of the game. Those lines all very strongly, I mean, it's probably the norm, but those really felt like they were recorded as individual blocks, which I assume they always are. Like, this is not a statement, but they don't flow smoothly from line to line, which is, I think, not the voice actor's fault. It's more the pacing of the timing of when they initiate the lines feels bad. It feels stilted a lot. And then Luke, Will's father.
With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name.
God, the hat's funny.
Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure. We're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
I guess I'll just do this because it kind of fits, but it's probably a leave.
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpoled Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
Anyway, leave. So, that's that. That's them. I have to talk to Jaheira. Withers really wants to talk, and they want to talk. Let's go with Withers.
Something's on my mind.
The shadows yet fester. The dead three united under cover of darkness.
And he's Jurgle related, probably,
Shifts.
who gave
There are
or was
depths
taken
to
by the
this
Dead Three.
alliance yet
The, like,
unplumbed.
his god purpose.
Consider, mortal. Do illithids possess souls?
See, this needs to not take this long. They need to fix that. I'm not sure. Don't all living things, these abominations are soulless? Surely. Let's say don't all living things.
No. Nor canst thou count mind flayers among them. Yet, the three amass an illithid army void of apostolic souls that could imbue them with power. A flock without souls, yet to what end, mortal? This is the question thou must come to answer. Until such time, be availed of my services.
Why are you here?
Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold.
Anyway, yeah, that's that. He's not going to be able to tell me more, probably.
Our enemies spread like rub rot. Treat one patch, and two more bloom in its place. An elder brain, bound by lost Netherese magic, with servants of the Dead Three holding the chain. Reminds me of old times.
You almost look like you're enjoying yourself.
Aren't you?
I'm beginning to.
When we met, I was licking my wounds. An old bear with her leg caught in the hunter's snare. Now I've slipped free of the trap and rediscovered my claws. It's time for me to hunt my prey. You have a nether stone, and you're on the scent of two more. These chosen have reason to fear you, and I would like to be at your side when you confront them.
Sure, but just sit at my camp, because I'm not gonna... Sure, I'll just say
Glad
this.
to be there.
But I won't
Fallen
fit.
foul of Cleric
Oh, not yet.
convinced me that my grand adventures were behind me. That even if I survived, I should hang up my blades.
You definitely should.
But you convinced me otherwise. We ventured into darkness together.
Her eyes are too big,
Now
feeling.
we've come out the other side.
They look fine there. When they're zoomed in, it just looks weird.
I'd say I'm feeling a little refreshed. When we reach Baldur's Gate, there will be even darker paths to tread. I will follow you wherever
Yeah.
they lead.
Crazy eyes. I could replace Karlach, but that feels mean.
How does it compare to a shadow-cursed inn?
The craziest
With the
eyes.
Absolute's army gone, the Risen Road should be clear. We can follow it all the way to Baldur's Gate. There's a Harper's safe house in Worm's Crossing. Denthalen's Dancing Axe. We do well to check in with them before entering the city proper. Beyond that, our course is yours to set. I can recall how to take orders, as well as give them.
I guess I will modify, like I'll probably, once I get to Baldur's Gate, start swapping out like Karlach for Jaheira, for like going to the dancing whatever, stuff like that. Talk to them. That's a nobody. Art is actually relevant. I forgot about him. He doesn't have much to say.
When Duke Elton formed the Flaming Fist, he sought out people of courage and honor to fill its ranks. You saved Daniel, lifted the curse, and killed an immortal. It's safe to say you'd have been recruited in an instant.
What do you think of them?
They are
Different.
different to what Duke Elton envisioned. And I can't comment on Duke Ravengard himself, but I've seen the respect he inspires in the Flaming Fist. And that tells me all I need about him as a leader. I hope you can save Duke Ravengard. For the good of Baldur's Gate.
What about you?
When this land fell to the curse, I should have gone with it. Thaniel is the only reason I survived. It's only fair I stay here and wait for him to awaken.
Yeah, this interaction is broken. Like, because Daniel's already awake.
I don't think there will be an after. The truth is, the Shadowfell broke something inside me. Something no healer can fix. I don't know how long I have, but because of you, Thaniel is safe. Because of you, I could help him as he helped me. So, thank you, my friend. And know that I have no regrets.
What was it like in there?
Like,
The curse.
Daniel's standing right here. Like, there should be an interaction. If you've, like, presumably you could fail to wake him and then this interaction happens, But if you get to the point where you've awoken him like this, they should interact. And this, I think, it's sort of everything post Act 1 has a lot more of these awkward moments that don't really fit as well. Like, Act 1 was polished because people have been playing it for the last 3 years. Most of it.
Thanks for watching out.
I'm not talking to her yet, because that's going to be a big scene.
Back in the shadows.
These two are going to be quick.
No fist left behind.
I swear, I can already feel a change in the air. Like the curse itself knows its time is short.
I don't even want him to join me. I guess that's all he has to say. Interesting.
You did it. Cleric Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is
It's not
broken.
centered. Well, that's not him, is it?
Soon, the land shall heal.
Maybe there's a reward for this. I feel like my work here is done then. Ah, I'm glad I could help.
Not as glad as I am. Nature moves at its own pace and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
I have no idea what that is. It would be fun if it was like, hey, summon woodland being for free on a long rest cooldown. Okay, now it's Fiend. There's Fiend. Again. I wish he looked less chunky. Like less like a
My love,
Frankenstein.
you were dead. I saw your body.
What happened to her nose?
I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer. I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead.
His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. But for all his sins, he brought you back to me.
I think he was poisoned before the god
Are
of
you
death.
all right?
Like the whole
I
Sharon
will
thing was worse.
And you?
Sort of.
In this moment, I want for nothing.
awkward height. Not the most awkward, but certainly awkward. Probably that hurts a lot. Like the metal
there you
armor? Ow, that would
This
hurt.
is Aelin. Aelin, this is...
Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father.
May
Hey.
he rest in peace at last.
She got like one
Now
shot.
that he's dead.
That was pretty funny.
I have more to thank you for than I knew. And we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later?
Sure. Whatever. I mean, I don't think I need to ask. I already know. So. Whatever.
We look forward to it.
Now you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words.
Aelin!
But like,
We'll
okay.
see you later.
She's very bruised. I will comment. Why do we have to leave? You probably want to go somewhere else anyway, because this is not the place to do that.
Have to keep going.
Our boy? Oh, okay. What the? Oh, I thought that was a gnome. They're not, are they? Oh. No. None of these people are their buddies.
It's a grim task.
Taking provisions from the
way I
dead.
hear it, the fighting's not done yet.
Do you have
We
any
need
junk to sell her?
resupply.
I mean, the Shield of Devotion aid's probably pretty good. For, like, you have a shield, get 10 max hit points, but... I'm gonna sell a bunch of junk. I don't have a ton, but... Heh, I never did end up using it. I sold that Myconid flesh forever ago.
Lady
Anyway, I'm gonna talk to them, and I think that's it for this area. Then I'm gonna check Last Light.
Then again,
I hate Wilburn.
these towers are much like the Absolute.
There you are. I was wondering where the devil you'd been.
I was taking a little holiday.
That sounds slimy. Never mind your distasteful predilections. We need to talk about Wulbrin.
I really do like how he's not good with jokes in a way that I think is very natural. Like, it's not... Like, he just plays it very straight, and it's kind of fun, because Wulbrin want nothing to do with you... Ugh, what about him?
Wulbrin and the Iron Hand gnomes are planning something dreadful in the city. They have room powder, they have motive. We have to stop them.
Why is the text actually popping up quickly now? Like, it always delays. Now it's actually, like, quick. It's even quicker than it probably should be. It seems like we'll have our hands full in Baldur's Gate.
With the sword of justice in one hand and the shield of self-righteousness in the other, we most certainly will.
All this timing is
Saving
off.
the city. And my fool of a friend.
Like, I really do, like... He's just so well-meaning and earnest. It's just... I'm not... I don't even want to talk to Wulbrin.
I owe you an apology.
Yeah, you do. I'm
I
listening.
saw you as a means to escape, nothing more. But when the sky lit up, when I followed it here, I knew you were behind it. I apologize for not seeing your true worth, and for being, quite frankly, rude in Last Light.
Apology accepted,
I
sure.
wasn't sure you would. I appreciate it.
It's literally his words.
And that's precisely why I want you by my side in Baldur's Gate. The Iron Hand gnomes are going to save the city. And you can be part of it.
I mean, with context, they actually are kind of well-meaning. It's messed up. They go too far, I think, but the intent is only slightly tainted. Like, there's stuff wrong with their plan, but in my opinion, but the end goal of the plan is well-meaning.
The plan is what it's always been. To bring the work and innovations of the Iron Hand gnomes to every corner of the realm. Problem is, Baldur's Gate is sick.
True.
Once the pinnacle of greatness, it's eating itself alive to save itself from starving. Find me in the city. And once you see what it's become, you'll know that I, and I alone, can stop it.
False. He's definitely, like, unreasonably confident in himself.
Well, I'm waiting for you.
Better be. It hasn't been that long.
I don't think there's anything here. So I'm going...
Leave the heart
oh,
of the
never mind.
Absolute alive.
There's a
Thanks to
cutscene.
you did well to defeat Cleric. But Cleric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
Enough lives. Imagine actually saying that line. Enough lives been lost. I don't want to send others to their deaths.
And if they died, would their deaths not count? But they need not die, for they would have you. You have the makings of a leader. Your actions have already inspired those around you. Jaheira's wisdom will be an asset to you on the journey ahead. Her harpers, too. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others.
Will there be anyone left when you arrive in the city?
Even if the buildings are demolished, there are always survivors.
Pretty good line.
There are always those who will fight.
I really do think the
Baldur's
Dragonborn looks
Gate
pretty
may
good.
not know it yet, but its fate is bound to ours. Seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
I think that's it here. I'm gonna walk a little further, in case it triggers another cutscene that could be skipped by teleporting out. But I'm gonna waypoint to Last Light to check if this stuff is happening. It's not here. If there's Vex or something is their name. Who was the person that was down here? I don't think they're gonna be there. I assume I missed the chance to talk to them. Yeah, because no one's here anymore. That quest is not gonna be complete because I didn't talk to them earlier. Like, the pathing here is broken. Oh, Janice.
You're alright.
Hey, it isn't broken.
My gods, you're alright.
Come here, darling.
I mean, there's no actual emotion here because we don't know who these people are. At least I don't. They look so happy.
I was so scared I'd lost you.
Me too. But we're here now. Safe.
Leave them to it.
Let me get a good look at you. Oh. My God, Specs. I can't believe we almost lost each other.
Never again. You hear me? Never.
Okay, is that the end of that quest? Nice. Okay, I'm very happy with that. I just wanted the quest to be gone. Like, the fact that it wouldn't clear if I don't actually see that, despite the fact that I know I rescued them. Okay, this quest is not... Like, the triggers and stuff need to be adjusted, probably, because... I mean, it makes sense that this is here in this way now, but that triggering now after I've already saved Roland is weird. It's like, doesn't really work. Jaheira, I'm gonna travel with her for a bit. Pale Elf is mostly ignored, but once I find Raphael again, he's gonna talk to him. He didn't get blown up. And he has nothing else right now. I'm ignoring her. Oh, and I lost Shadowheart. This one still. Mole. Apparently, you want to talk to Mole before they get kidnapped. After you talk to Raphael, which I didn't do. Oh well. This is in Baldur's Gate. These are in Baldur's Gate. Potential. Artifact secrets. I'm not talking to the Githyanki Kresh. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I want to see how it changes the events that occur. And let's just recruit people. Has become a most loyal ally. I have not talked to him more than once since he joined our camp, but it is what it is.
We leave this place better than we found it. Well done.
Okay, I'm gonna quick save here. I'm pretty sure as we leave,
The Absolute's armies are on the march.
the Shadow Cursed Lands gets fixed more. And she's Gonzo. Whatever. If something doesn't trigger properly, it is what it is. Now I'm gonna go just put an actual full save. Not that I'm gonna reload this save if something goes wrong, but yeah, you can't go back to either of the previous areas. Maybe I missed something. That's the nature of the game, though.
The curse has been lifted.
Okay, yeah.
The land
It triggers now.
cleansed of the shadows. Kethric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
Oh yeah, this is a pretty weird scene.
Sergeant, if you are here, I presume Wern's Rock is secure, and preparations for my inauguration are complete.
No, Lord Gortash. We were interrupted. Another quake in the lower city. More severe this time.
So you came cowering to my chambers? I'm flattered, Sergeant. But even I cannot command natural phenomena to cease.
Forgive me, my lord, but there is panic in the streets. The people are afraid.
Perhaps the people would be calm if you kept your nerve. I expect better from the Flaming Fist than to run scared from a slight tremor in the earth. Get back to your duties.
Duties, duties, duties. Patrolling and saluting and following and bowing and scraping. Yes, sir. No, sir. Rip and cut your throat, sir. Your plan is falling apart, lordling. Give me a reason not to cut you to ribbons.
Control yourself, Orin. We need to focus on reuniting the stones or the brain will break free. These quakes are just the start. Neither of us expected the prison bearers to kill Ketheric. They'll be traveling to the city. Let's make sure we give them a Baldurian welcome.
I itch to peel you, to split your skin, to see your skull shine in the light.
Her armor's very crab-like.
Tyrant.
Actually, it explicitly is crabs, isn't it? No, it
Lucky
isn't.
for
Crab
you,
eyes? Crab
we
spikes?
harvested a whole family of living flesh in Rivington at high sun. They will sate my blade thirst tonight. Oh, but tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, my blades will thirst again.
Boom. I need to change new armor. Not armor. Camp clothes, because this is boring. Need different design. This particular scene's just weird. Like, nothing happens. I guess it's meant to serve as like a, ooh, this is an interlude, but like, it's just odd. Very hefty ladder.
Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away.
And like they show up for some reason. And then boom, nothing. Like, it's such a weird little moment.
Can't slow down.
What? She's leveled up. She doesn't get anything on level up, does she? Ooh, 10 HP and intimidating presence. Use an action to instill fear. So interesting. It's such a boring level up. And also it broke. I pressed escape half a second early, I think. I hit accept, but then I hit escape and that cancelled out of it.
What to do?
I don't think there's too much to do here.
Best be on my way.
Like, I think there's a little, but... This is where, in my previous playthrough, I learned that Arabella left. I found a letter right here, I think. Or maybe it was later. What's even weirder is it, like... This is just a rest stop. Like, this is a long rest. It's not an actual map, I'm pretty sure. It is, but it still is a map. Like, there's people, you can talk to the people, same as a normal long rest camp stop. That's a good image, honestly. Yeah. Actually, the way to hide the UI. North facing. It would be under controls. Show item stack splitter. Display the stack splitter UI when you select a stack of items while trading. Interesting. Oh, I probably would rather disable that. But is there a UI hide button? Main attack. Air main attack is useful. Cancel end turn, turn-based. Flee from combat. Adventure panels, user interface. I'm surprised. Ah, there it is. What is a good button? What is a button that I would never hit accidentally? I guess like Control F11. Ooh, what the? I wonder if you could play the game like this. Probably not, because there's too much that is important when you interact with it. Like, there's too many things you can't see. I actually should respec her.
Final night in the open air, and then back to the city. Rest while you can.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna, I don't really care about this playthrough. I'm not gonna worry about learning about the characters that I'm not traveling with. And I'm barely gonna use Jaheira. Probably. Unless oh, actually, shoot. If she's level 10 and she's a Moon Druid, or if I change her into a Moon Druid, this is when she's actually good. Because, like, the Moon Druid at 10th level, the wild shapes are exceptional at this stage. Because they're just incredibly strong. They're, like, super strong. There's one that has an AoE move ability, or a move ability that AoE prones. Volo's note. Oh, he ditched me? Matter of import showed up. Anyway.
That'll fit in my pack.
I don't particularly care about Volo. I don't particularly care about them, but I should try and talk to them once. She's level 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe Aelin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aelin free. And me.
Well, I think Aelin would have been free even if I didn't kill Cleric. Because I'd already freed her. And if she just left, she would have stayed free. A lot of history would have happened.
A great deal. But still, some of the details elude me. Cleric Thorm was.
Well, I guess was because he's dead.
He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of
trees
Selûne
falling?
came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight?
No. No, but it sounds like you do.
Guilty. The moment I looked at Aelin, I just knew I had to be with her. I was hers. That was it. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal.
Reasonable skepticism,
I
actually.
understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how or why, but all was black, black, black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped.
I really want to say, did he shout boo, but...
I didn't know that then. But I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jaheira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land. My home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them. And myself. No matter what.
Just... But like... It's odd. It's not bad, but it's just odd. mean, it is understandable.
It's all out in the open now, and with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing, rest. I'm grateful for your help, your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long, but I'm grateful for a safe place to, well, just to be.
I bet she has something to say.
There
Still
you
only level
are.
8 though.
I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer.
Ready to defend yourself.
Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne, hear me. Cleric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Merkel, is dead at last.
I mean, they're
My
probably
mate,
aware.
Most High. Darling Isabel is safe and well. Safe and well, and return to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One.
Where's the silver light? The moon magic? That's funny. I'm not gonna say it. That's rude.
We are a powerful party indeed. Faerun itself trembles at our touch. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it.
How do you intend to newfound
I am
freedom?
free from my bonds, but not my duty. The dead 3 are risen. The dead
But
2 remain.
it's
You must face them. I will help.
It's the chosen of the dead 3. We didn't kill one of the dead 3. The dead 3 all still exist, I thought. I don't actually care about her. Like, she's the daughter of a god, but is she the daughter of the god before they became a god? Because some of them, like Selûne, no, Mystra was originally, in a relative sense, a normal human. I bet he has nothing to say.
Thou walkest alone. On all these harsh nights, thou hast sought no company.
You sound disapproving.
Love is no domain of mine, but it is often cited as the purpose of mortal life. Wherefore turnst thou from it?
I have better things to be doing.
And thus thou art alone.
It's a funny interaction, honestly. I don't want to talk to Asterion. Like, I will, because it's relevant, but he did reveal that he was a vampire. I think that's just about the last time I talked to him.
The gate is closed. As is Cazador.
Like, he hasn't explained Cazador,
Closer to knowing why that bastard
I think.
is so obsessed with getting me back.
I don't remember him explaining that.
I think we should track down my fellow spawn. I'm not exactly looking forward to a reunion, but perhaps they'll know something. If we can find them, we can force them to tell us what he's been doing since I was gone. And honestly, I imagine they'll be coming for me in the night if I don't.
Where would they be?
Unless Cazador's changed their orders, they'll be in the dens of this town, seeking prey. We should get to them first. Then we can make their pretty tongues talk.
Yeah, my understanding is he's actually a very interesting character, in a relative sense, like...
You smell very delicious, but I will not.
I'll pet him every time.
More.
It's so cute. It's not deep. It's the exact same interaction every single time. It's still cute. And I'm out of here. Oh, carrying capacity doubled? Oh, that's kind of nice. I need to dump all my stuff onto her. Okay, bedtime. This is going to trigger an attack, I believe.
The events of the last days weigh
Spoilers.
heavily upon you. Sleep's rest is slow to come to one whose mind is so full. The Absolute is not a god, but an elder brain controlled by the chosen of the dead 3. They mean to use it to take control of the Sword Coast. All who carry the tadpole are governed by the brain, and by extension the chosen. It will take but one order to transform them into an army of mind flayers. This would have been your fate too, were it not for the Dream Visitor's protection. With her help, you have uncovered the cult for what it really is.
The narrator is
a plan
kind of
conquest orchestrated by
weird.
the gods of death themselves. Together, you have the power to thwart the Dead Three. If you follow this path to its end, the Elder Brain will not answer to the Chosen. It will answer to you.
The narrator
Will we
doesn't
liberate them
feel
from their
like
parasites and their religious delusions.
they're
Or will you
unrelated to the
use
story.
The power you gain for your own purposes.
Like, it feels like they're prodding you to do stuff. I think this is actually not a bad answer.
You will not have long to wait. All you need to do now is sleep.
Like, the narrator's doesn't
sleep is
feel
not
like
for you.
a disconnected narrator. Ah, big scene, big scene. Not even particularly dangerous.
You're under attack. Fight your way to the portal. I need your help.
Her voice commanding. I'm gonna kill these fools. Because these are... But they're not Githyanki. They're Githrizai. Spoilers. Anyway, I'm gonna get her to the point where she could escape any second. And whilst doing that... and I think they're probably all monks, because that's what Githrizai are. 57, 54, 55. Go here, beat them up. I want to kill some of them. Like, it shouldn't be too hard to kill them.
Still on my feet. These
Move.
boots have seen everything.
I might do fire. I could hit two like this. Whoa, they took like no damage. Because they take reduced damage because of it's a saving throw based thing, and I think evasion makes you take half damage on success, no damage on succeed for the saving throw. So that's actually not a good attack to use on them.
Victor's path.
I mean, this should be pretty easy. I will... I don't think I need to waste it on that. Let's go with this. And then move up. 4? Why 4?
Battle favors the fearless.
Oh, okay, because I get a -1. That's pretty annoying, actually. Please don't miss.
On my honor.
Nice.
Pawn to Cleric 4.
Right, now that's a launch and a half. 4d10 bludgeoning. 9-meter range.
Come quickly. I can't do this without you.
Give me a minute.
Forever dauntless.
I'm busy. How can you not walk there? Like, what is this game? Okay, so they're gonna die safely enough. What triggered the opportunity attack? 'Cause I was clearly not moving yet. Anyway. Who leveled up? Him. Him. Not yet. So I'm gonna kill. I want to kill one more if I can. Which is unlikely to work because
Fuck yes.
I have to kill this guy.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
I will use the short rest Misty Step to get up there.
Seems like the best way.
What? What kind of line of sight was that? I could do this. Do I get its turn? No, I don't.
The witching hour.
I don't want to get beat up. So I guess I will summon... Fire felt the least bad. Wait, no. I can't remember. No, it's the Githrazai are not the ones that are pro Orpheus, right? Are they? These guys do a ton of damage.
More are coming. Hurry, or we will all become
I'm just here for one more kill to get experience. There. Now I can go. No, I can't.
Well,
now I can
so
go
much
through.
for peace.
I can't. There. Hopefully they let me short rest, which they shouldn't, but... I can't remember if these no, these have to be Githyanki, right?
That thing's about to blow.
But they're monks, and the Githrazai are all monk-like or whatever. Okay, will they let me...
I'm here. Help me. I'm under attack.
I'm doing this so that I can worry less. I mean, level 8 is good. Yes, because I get a feat. Which is going to be 2 points in Charisma, which would bring me to 20, because Auntie Ethel's thing doesn't show up here. Dimension Door. I don't think it's useful, but I don't think there's anything that I really need.
I can't hold them back alone.
Now I'm at good Charisma.
Defender of the people.
Time should be frozen. 10? I don't think it's noteworthy. Oh. He gets unaction. Oh wait, is this where he gets... No, it isn't. Every short rest you get a resistance is kind of nice. I mean, none of these are great. Sure, for emergencies, I'll grab that. I'll never use it. I mean, Wall of Fire is really good, but I have other concentration that I'd rather focus on.
The skull. Come to the skull.
Yes, shut up. Time is frozen. Yeah, sure, whatever. And then
A long way from Waterdeep.
level 10 is still 5th level spell, so I get 2 more. Oh, this is when I get the Dark Vision, 24 meters, or the Invisibility until long rest, without having to use the 2nd level spell slot, which isn't actually really that worth it, but I think I've been going through the entire game with him not having any form of Dark Vision, so it's pretty good to pick up finally. Sure, let's go Shocking Grasp. None of them are great. I mean, I don't think Planar Binding's great.
Please help me.
Shut up. Let's go Dominate and Cold Blast. I think I already have stuff for those, but... why did it always default Witch Bolt? Let's... No, I'd rather have Dark Vision. So one level 2 spell slot, not much of a cost. Just... Again, why am I at 19 int? I couldn't figure it out. I thought I would have not put myself at such an awkward int level, but I must have.
And, well, in it.
Will they let me...
Can't give up now.
I'm not gonna summon new stuff because...
Hurry! I can't hold them back alone.
Like, come on, I put it turn-based so stuff wouldn't happen, and yet stuff happened nonetheless. Like, come on. Oh, I have 3 now. It's so good. Like, look at that. Like, it's an obscene amount of damage.
I need you now.
I'd rather overkill than get blasted at a bad time. I guess I'll do this. A single level 1 spell slot. Then have her walk up and him just blast them. And then I have to teleport. There is stuff up here. I don't think it's important, but there is stuff.
It's good to be alive.
Anyway, they're dead. That's gonna launch the Mars in there.
The skull. Come to the skull.
I have stuff to steal first. I mean, weird. I should probably grab the caustic bulb.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh, actually, no, those are useless. Those are consumables. It's not an ingredient. Not that I'm using ingredients anyway, but... Yeah. I'll be there eventually. Yeah, this picture of our friend-o down below that we'll see in a minute. I can't imagine actually playing a character here. I thought I didn't have fall damage in this zone. Oh, it was a corpse taking fall damage, or damage from being Goomba stomped. Hi, Gishra Shari. Shari.
I can't hold them off much longer.
This is a weird thing. There's people over here that I think I can go to that I missed on my previous playthrough.
Maybe I should... No. This is good. So the demonic figures we saw were Gift Yankee all along.
Which actually should be
Hurry. It's not over.
a deal breaker of sorts. What is Will doing? What are these guys doing?
The pride of the gate.
Like, come on. Okay, they're gonna stay here.
At least things have stayed interesting. No one's stopped me yet.
Like, come on. Oil of Bane.
I need you now.
Yeah, shut up.
How much farther can I go?
Like, if, from a video game perspective, we have no reason to rush, don't try and rush us. Rush the person playing the game. Like...
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Because then it just feels artificial.
The skull. Come to the skull.
Okay, so you can maybe get to there. That seems like a character you can actually interact with. But if I can't get there by jumping, then I won't. I imagine I can talk to them. Nope, they're fighting. Okay. If they push me, I will complain.
cooking.
What is she doing here?
I loved it, thanks. Marching.
It's so frustrating. And now that initiates it for some reason. I never suffered this much with these characters not following properly. Like it was never this much of an issue.
Another fight. Let's go.
Please? Darn.
What's this?
No bonus action, obviously. Big hit. Big hit.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
Fly and blast them. Let's just do this. And I don't know, can you jump?
It's not over. Come to the skull.
Might be useful.
Like, divine bone shards seem like they're the bone shards. Either they're carried by them, or
Help me.
they're either carried by them just for some reason, for like ritualistic reasons, or it's the bone shards of like their shattered shins and stuff. Will they let me jump all the way? Let's quick save and just jump right into the mouth. See how it goes. I'm gonna miss some stuff I could gather, but will my team actually follow? Nope. Okay, split up.
The hero at heart.
Jump there. Apparate. I didn't click you. Jump there. That should be everything.
I can't hold them off much longer.
I mean, you clearly can.
On my way.
I just wonder what happens if you do actually not side with them here. It's really not much of a twist. The biggest twist here is that the Dream Visitor wasn't the absolute. Like going for like a double bluff. Misty Step.
Before you do anything, I am your ally. We are in danger.
Oh, shit. A mind flayer.
The Githyanki is the source of our protection against the Absolute. I must subdue him, or everything we've worked towards is lost. Don't let my form deceive you. I am the one that's been protecting you. I am the one that came to you in your dreams. Help me.
Prove to me that you are who you say.
You saved a child from a viper back in the Druid's Grove.
I mean, that's
You
a good
saved
enough.
the
Oh,
Asura
they could read my
Night
mind.
From her soul cage. Your continued existence as yourself.
No,
And not a
that doesn't
mind
prove
flayer
anything.
should be all the proof you need. Now, help me.
Let's just go with it.
The god. Destroy the god. They prevent me from subduing their master. Do it now.
I think going along with the Mind Flayer kind of is interesting. Oh, I'm totally up to betray the Githyanki though.
Together, we can turn the tide.
Key resonating pulse punch. Why would I save a? Why would I save an intellect devourer? Nah, that's not happening. They do that, then they detonate the pulse, and it blows up everything. It's cool. Yeah, 3 dead instantly is pretty impressive. Well, I mean, it would be. You know what? Why not? I mean, this. The bar says all you need. This is not gonna be a hard fight. Oh, he has telekinesis active for 5 more rounds. Anyway, I guess I should probably rage. Can't push. Oh, this guy didn't follow properly. Well, I guess I can blast the fool. And teleport. 1, 1. And blast. But, oh, I have 3 shots again. Forgetting that this one's 3 shots. Let's have him go first. Okay, this is targeting the correct character. God, it's too strong. It is far stronger than it has any reason to be. Shocking Grasp goes there. These are... I don't think I need Dark Vision here, but...
Survival is all that matters.
There. There's only 3 more people. 1, 2, a third somewhere else. Karlak, Embrace of the Inferno. Each ray. I assume this roll would be for an individual ray, as opposed to all of them, but maybe it is all of them. You know, they had individual rolls. I mean, you're supposed to be trying to get other control, but... Fix the game! Why are they focusing on me? I know I am the coolest, but like... The bubble sound. Okay. You get to blast them. Or her. God, that damage is... Was one of those actually 55? No, it was a 15 and a 5 that overlapped. Good. It should not... No single ray should ever hit for 55 damage. Combined, it does an obscene amount, but...
This is gonna feel good.
I probably go for 3 attacks here. 1, 2, and I mean, I just kill them, so I don't actually need 3 attacks. Could I throw... But I don't have bonus action anyway, because I jumped.
I don't fancy their chances.
Up. Up. What happens? Does this... Will this get rid of the burning? Well, it doesn't matter if it doesn't hit. Oh yeah, I forgot about this guy. That's a good jump. Flames of the Phoenix. It's just a fireball, I think. But it's a phoenix for some reason. And this is, yes, all of these spells are like monk variants of normal arcane spells, because these are the 4 elements, I believe. Like, it's monk of the 4 elements, so they just get spells that use ki instead of spell slots, pretty much. That's about all that's special about them, I'm pretty sure. Well, they're still monks, but... Yeah, I think it's still just better to hit them with the multi-attack if you don't have two of them. Because burning them doesn't do that much.
Sorcery. With haste.
Please don't miss. Good hit. If it hits, he's dead. If it hits, he's dead. I would rather kill this one. I mean, the fact that both hit there and that one missed is kind of rough, but... Yeah, high dex. That's not a good choice. Ooh, 3d4 instead of 2d4. So good. I'm gonna drink a potion. Just to reduce the chance of me dying. Ooh, good hits. Ooh, that crit to kill himself. I don't think it was actually, I think the crit damage might have been what killed him. I mean, it's absolutely messed up to do this to the guy.
Thank you. That was too close. Don't look at me like that. I am a mind flayer. Yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
By the living gods! No more visions, no more lies. I expect answers. Now!
I'm going to need a name this time. I always suspected you were mind... Like, yeah. Always suspected it.
I suppose it was considerate of you not to bring it up before. And I ask that you do not judge me for it now. It's like I said before. I'm just like you.
It's all very
Adventurer,
neat.
I came from Baldur's Gate, though I was never one to be constrained by circumstance. I longed for more. That longing brought me to Moonrise Towers on a search for treasure. To a colony of mind flayers who caught me, changed me into what I am now. For years, I served the Elder Brain, the one you know as the Absolute. I was a thrall like any other, but I was fortunate. I broke free and started a new life in my old city. I sustained myself on criminals. Unglamorous, but there are plenty of them, rarely missed. And they fueled me when
I do like the clothes being the exact same as always.
I had the good fortune to meet Duke Stelmane. We formed a partnership, and through her, I became the governing force behind the Knights of the Shield, the largest mercantile operation in Baldur's Gate. People referred to me as the Emperor. Such was my influence, though of course they had no idea what I really was. My needs were sated. I was happy for a while, until my true nature was discovered by the tyrant himself, Lord Gortash. He tore me from my home and brought me back to the Brain, where I became a slave once again. A slave he continued to call the Emperor. The name was intended as a slight, to remind me of the heights from which I fell. But I have grown fond of it. It encapsulates well who I've become.
One of the Chosen. You're gonna tell me what this battle was about?
We fought to tame Prince Orpheus, the son of Gith herself. His power has been the source of your continued protection against the voice of the Absolute. The power to disrupt hive mind communication. It is the same power that enabled his mother, Gith, to bring about the fall of the Illithid Empire.
I kind of like their
eons
gloves.
ago. A power she passed on to him, and that I leveraged for you. When Orpheus's mother left, a usurper took her place. Vlaakith declared herself queen of your people. Vlaakith wanted his power, but Orpheus rose against her, and so she sealed him and his honor guard within this prison. Bound by infernal chains, Orpheus could never leave. Bound by duty, his guard never would. They were close to breaking my hold on that prince. And if they had succeeded, we would be lost. I am relieved. You have embraced your potential enough that you could help me eliminate them. Alone,
go for it.
Orpheus will be much easier to control.
Regan Prisoner 2. Why does Orpheus refuse to aid Vlaakith? Let's go with that one.
I do not have the privilege of knowing the answer, but the consequences are clear enough. Some of your people still revere him in defiance of their teachings. Vlaakith was safe as long as you believed him dead. But as you can see, he is very much alive. She kept him this way because she was reluctant to eradicate such power. Power that she might one day wish to take from him. If the rest of your people ever find out what she's done, there will be civil war. Your queen will be finished.
Were you in prison too?
No.
No, obviously not.
Gortash sent me on a mission to retrieve the astral prism. I was one of many, but the first to find it. How Gortash or the other chosen learned of its existence, I do not know. The moment I found it, I felt a change. My free will returning. I followed the feeling inside, and found Orpheus. I realized what the prism was for. Containment. While my body was within the prison's bounds, my mind was free. I could resist the Elder Brain, the Chosen. Better yet, I could plan to overthrow them. All I needed to do was subdue Orpheus and find allies in the outer world. You.
What happens if we free him? Could we kill him and seize his power? I think... Sure.
There may come a time when that is necessary. But there is no guarantee that his power would survive his passing. The risk is too great. The moment his protection is gone, you would become enthralled to the Elder Brain, just as I would. We may look different, but to the Elder Brain we are already the same. Thralls in its design.
The less you seem like a mind flayer.
I appreciate that. But this is what I am. My original body was destroyed when I transformed. When I first escaped the Elder Brain, I searched for a new vessel. But the longer I inhabited this one, the more it grew on me. I realized that returning to my former self would only impose limitations. Any advantage I could gain by restoring my original appearance, I already had to hand in the form of magic, and that humanoid shape you've come to know. As an Illithid, I have far surpassed who I ever was before. You, too, should embrace this change.
And why do you say that?
I believe we'll have a better chance of defeating the Elder Brain if you embrace your latent Illithid potential. I've been studying you for a while now.
Potential?
I believe I can trigger the next stage of your tadpole's life cycle, while continuing to preserve your independence. You have seen what I can do. Imagine yourself with the same strength, the same intelligence, the same devastating beauty. If you let me, I can evolve you.
I think the justification I would go with here is basically the character's mixture of curiosity and, I don't know, power, like slight bit of power hunger. Like, I can't imagine legit actually trusting this guy in this context, because like the tadpoles are used to control people. It would be easy for him to control us if we trusted him in this way, but
You will be able to do things you never thought were possible. There will be physical alterations, of course, but only partial. You will retain most of your current form, and you will soon see that the benefits outweigh any perceived loss.
I just want to see what happens.
By Baldrin's helm. Only a fiend or fool would bargain with this damnable creature.
I mean, fool is accurate.
To surprise me. Your mind is truly
I would not
something special.
trust them for a second.
Now, hold out your hand.
I mean, I'll probably never go through this choice again unless it's actually interesting, but like, because to me, the idea of using the illithid powers, taking more parasites and stuff, is just
It wants to evolve.
too
It
risky.
cannot do so alone. It must commune with another.
Let's probe the tadpoles. Oh, I finally have +2 with Jack of all trades. I think I should. It's not something that would benefit from favorable beginnings, but I kind of feel like it should because it's a living being.
The tadpole screams for growth with painful intensity. It has been starved of life, of purpose. It welcomes your probing like a void.
I mean, that's basically a way to say,
filled. If you let it, it will evolve you, just as the Emperor said.
it doesn't inherently... It doesn't have an inherent goal.
Veins as the tadpole awakens, its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is
Everyone's gone now.
feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs
Cursed.
contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different.
That's creepy
Your
looking.
body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
You are exquisite. When your allies see what you can do, I hope you encourage them to try it
No.
for themselves.
Not for a second would I do that.
We mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the brain and bring it under our control.
Half illithid, even a lot more powerful. So, I don't look that different. Why am I not glowing? I've stopped glowing. I used to glow constantly. But for some reason I don't glow anymore. Like, I can't remember what it was that made the character glow. Well, I can't remember. I never figured out what it was that made the character glow. I think it's an appropriate change. But I'm kind of sad that it's not as creepy as it was in the cutscene. But so this unlocks, you get flight for free, and these ones you get for free. So I still have to pick up those manually. But Mind Blast is probably good to pick up. It's a long rest though. Long rest to make it so that you can swap action and bonus action. Free cast is probably useful because it's basically a free spell slot. That one's neat. Again, short rest cooldown. This one's cool. Displacer beast that can displace itself in enemies. Like, that's definitely one of the better ones. Invade target's mind, disrupt its defense. AC reduced by 1. If they die, you can cast it on another target. It only lasts for 5 turns, so you have to kill them quickly. That's not right. Oh no, wait. No, okay, you fracture someone's psyche, and then if you kill them fast enough, you get a better version of fracture psyche. For subsequent, you can shatter psyche. This is messed up. This is not. These tooltips are messed up. This says fracture should be AC -1, but this condition says it's -5. Shatter psyche -2, -2. That's reasonable. This tooltip's broken. Expertise in persuasion, deception, and intimidation. I don't know if I have those yet. This one's neat. I don't know what it does. Like, you can nullify spells that are level 4 or lower, which should be all cantrips. This is the unimportant one. Okay, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have to choose 3 that I don't take. And I'll get a bunch more later anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh. Absorb intellect doesn't seem the best, but I think free cast and... yeah, free cast and absorb intellect. This is a long rest, whereas this is short rest. Not great. But if it's 5 turns of 1d8, that's situational. I mean, that's like absolutely twisted. Like, I think it's hard to justify actually going for the illicit stuff outside of a power-hungry character. Like, I think aesthetically, my impression of Dark Urge, it would make sense if, like, you were going for an evil Dark Urge type character.
No traps, please.
To be obsessed with gathering as much power as possible. Ooh, boots. Yeah, like a wisdom heavy monk could be a fun character. There's like, oh, you can go strength monk. Is this guy really running away from the elementals and such? Okay, I have too many actions. There's too many. I need fewer actions. Ugh. I need to be able to make this bar wider, I think. Yeah, this is Vlaakith making a deal with the devil.
Let's have a look.
A singular, regular potion. Let's just figure out which ones. Mind Blast is good. If only it wasn't a long rest cooldown, man. Shield of Thralls. Black Hole is cool because you get 6 uses of Black Hole per short rest. That's really good. Fly. But if I take this off the bar, nope. I don't really need to be able to fly anymore. I don't need to be able to jump anymore now that I can fly like this. leave the astral plane. I can fly. Now I can rest, I guess, maybe? I need to... I'm never doing an Illithid power run ever again, because it's too many. It's just too many. Jaheira's not there. Like, I don't need this much to work with. Oh, that's lame. Like, why should the disguised self still have that? Like, let me, you know, disguise myself. Like, if I want to keep it secret that I'm tainted by Illithid power, I wouldn't make the fake disguised version of myself look like that. Like, it probably doesn't matter. I assume gameplay-wise, there's no implication, because why would they make it matter that you're part Illithid? But I don't think disguised self is well handled. I really think it's a missed opportunity. Would it be easy to do better? I don't know. But it's such a missed 43 brains. Like, it's just such a missed opportunity to make disguised self actually, like, logical. Like, it's not... It doesn't work how it should. Like... I mean, there's so much stuff that's broken, so... Okay, this has to be used on int. And then this is used on wisdom. He is the invisibility. And dark vision. Because you can only use one or... Oh, you can use both? No. Really? What's the point of this? Just put it into one and make it so you have dark vision and invisibility. Like... Or give it true sight even. Go over the top. Make it too much better. That's a waste of a spell slot, but oh well. Other buffs. I need to apply this. I need to apply this. He needs to bind his weapon.
Looking ahead.
I have that, I have that. I need to speak with animals. I need to properly swap that on. Then disguise self. Oh, male dragonborn. I kind of like that though. That actually looks pretty good. Like with the dark bits. It looks more like injuries, whereas the female dragonborn, it just looks kind of splotchy. Yeah, I kind of prefer that. Kind of nice. Then I can swap back.
Don't waste a step.
Anyway, now I have to talk to her about Orpheus.
The parasite communes with Lae'zel's. Her heart races as she learns of the events inside the astral prism.
It's a very different face.
Orpheus.
I'm so tall.
Gith's only son. He lives. The tainted blood of the mother. The traitor prince. The Laxarai.
Is it the very same who fought Vlaakith?
Yes. Listen close. The Emperor
So
spoke
tall.
only in half-truths. Let us remember our history together.
Obviously he doesn't
Long
tell all the
ago,
truth.
When we rose up against our gay slavers, Mother Gith made for the Hells to secure an alliance with the archdevil Tiamat. Tiamat gifted the Githyanki our red dragons. Gith remained in the Hells, and Tiamat's envoy proclaimed Vlaakith our ruler. The first Vlaakith of many. It is Vlaakith 157 whom our people now call Queen.
God, the 157 thing, where they're just numbered. No.
Our current Vlaakith has claimed undeath and reigned for 1,000 years. but it was the first whom Orpheus tried to slay. Orpheus is Gith's renegade spawn, a Gaith thrall who would return us to our slavers. He convinced his own mother's honor guard to join a coup against Vlaakith I. He would have fed our empire to the Illithids had he succeeded. It was Kithrak Voss himself who slayed the prince in vicious battle, or so the Varshas teach us. Yet the traitor's with us, controlled by that repugnant Illithid. Should Orpheus go free, he would hand Vlaakith's dominion to his Gaich masters. The astral plane would be first to fall. The others would soon follow.
Can we trust our teachings?
Entirely.
Sure.
Vlaakith Karsivim Hrath Krashet. Only in Vlaakith may we find light. This is the creed. I will not abandon all 10,000 protocols over one sovereign secret.
If she turns on it so quickly, later, potentially.
We find a way to enter the prism and slay Orpheus.
Yeah, no.
He is a Gaith puppet cloaked in Githyanki's skin, and the most powerful mind master known to our people. One word from his
that broke
scheming
for some
lips and
reason.
the people would doubt. 2 words and they would rage. 3 words and they would bow to the false prince.
Who would actually not be a false prince because he would be the real
Githyanki
prince
would be
because
slaves once more, and one by one,
that's how
the
descendants
planes
work.
would fall to the Gaich.
Anyway, bye. I love how tall this Dragonborn is. Like, it's incredibly tall compared to, like, everyone. Wonderful. Can I just leave? Okay, now it's time to do stuff. Yay.
We must find where Gortash and Orin have established themselves, and take their nether stones.
I have to say, frankly, this is about where the game begins to lose me.
Path lies before me.
Because, why is my background purple? What chooses the background? But like, this is where it begins to lose me because it's supposed to be all high stakes. But if you want to actually do all the, like, meaningless side stuff, you have to ignore the fact that it's high stakes. And that just doesn't work well, in my opinion. Like, it just is, it's kind of awkward. Oh, actually, my skills are going to be so good because proficiency increased. A diamond? I have 2 diamonds now. Look at these skill values. Plus 13 on all this. 9 performance. 7s and 11s across the board almost. Ooh, it's so good. 8 on stealth. 12 sleight of hand. Like, it's so good. I love it. And honestly, if I just ended the game here, I wouldn't even hate it. Because I got the entire goal of the character, which was... I mean, the entire goal for this character was just to mess around with having incredibly high skill checks on everything. And you could probably do better, but... I enjoyed that part of it. And this kid...
Excuse me. I can't find my mum.
Oh? When did you last see her?
She was sick. She had spots on her face and hands. She went to go get some herbs, and she was supposed to come back the same day.
I wonder if the
That was last
heterochromia
time
is
we were.
important. You must be hungry, take some food. You approach this guy to
Wow.
ask for help.
Thanks. My mum would like this. She's the best cook in the world. And she taught me too. I'll look for her. I think she'll probably come soon. Thanks a lot.
I mean, this character's so suspicious. Like, they definitely aren't just a kid. They might just be a kid. The fox might be magic, but like... this, I'm gonna go here right away instead of delaying. It has, I think, one of the more satisfying line delivery potential. Like, potential line deliveries.
The place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family.
Oh yeah, it's also terribly written.
Get these squatters out of my house now!
Cause like...
Arthur, sweetheart, you paid me and my boys to be caravan guards, not cattle wranglers. If you want us to get our hands dirty, it'd be our pleasure. But that'll be extra.
But it's like, this doesn't work. The interaction is terrible. We walk by and they say, this place was empty. Keep those thugs away from my family. Like, I'm a random person walking by on the street. Like, it's not like I'm part of the Flaming Fists or whatever. Like, it's terribly introduced. It does have a good line though. Later. Does no one we meet ever get along?
Not if they're trying to help themselves to other people's property.
Pretty reasonable,
I just
honestly,
want to remove
to a
these
certain extent.
unlawful interlopers from my property.
I actually kind of want to do this. I never actually detect thoughts on people. Because it's kind of rude.
I can't let them stay here. What if the little brat gets into the basement?
But like, it's always heartening to see a true philanthropist out in the wild. There's even more about this. It's always heartening to see a true philanthropist out in the wild.
Excuse me? I'm exceedingly charitable. Ask anyone in this wretched town.
It's like
one
rude.
thing to donate extremely generously to those less fortunate than oneself, and quite another to give away one's entire house.
Like, yeah, I actually do
This
think
man's
that's valid.
indignant demeanor barely masks a seething anxiety. There's more to this situation than he's letting on.
I'm a very magnanimous individual, but this is my home. Either they leave,
What is
or
this?
I'll make them.
You seem a little on edge. Are you all right?
But wouldn't you be on edge if your beautiful home had been defiled by such brazen interlopers?
I mean, again, it's pretty valid. None of these, like... This interaction, there's only one good line later, potentially, and I want to make sure that I get to it. Because it's fun, and it's just like, yeah, it's actually acknowledging things that happened 5 minutes ago in game. Well, 30 minutes to an hour and a half, to 2 hours ago, but... like, I'm not in favor of this. I don't actually think it makes sense, but... 15 to 21 with advantage. Easy. 35.
Fine, fine. They can stay. Just don't blame me when they turn on you like the mongrels they are.
I respect your hustle, sweetheart, but it won't work on me.
It will.
You've stepped on the guild's toes, and we'd like a little something to make it better.
The Guild, a loose coalition unifying every criminal outfit in the city under one collective rule, from cut purses to contract killers.
Or what?
I'd say you'll live to regret it, but honestly, I'm not so sure you'd live.
It's really... This is by far the best line. Not the best. It's a very appropriate line because it's actually acknowledging things that happened in the game. It's like, it's great that they actually make that an intimidation option and it only has a DC of 10. Like,
You're serious? Let's forget this unpleasantness ever happened. Come on, boys. We've got places to be.
like, is that interaction terribly written? Yes. Is the whole I just killed an avatar of Merkel pretty satisfying? Yes, because it's just stating the truth that it'll like Act 3 is broken beyond belief. Like, it's not well set up. Like, they probably should fix
What's
it.
past this?
Maybe in 3 years it'll be as good as Act 1. I doubt it, but... Private musings... Yes. I'm writing erotica. Clothing. Blue outfit? Let's see what this looks like. Ah, shoot. That actually looks pretty good, though. But that's not what it's going to look like most of the time. That's actually worse. I kind of hate that. It actually does look pretty solid on a male Dragonborn. Oh, basement key. Hidden amongst the books. I did not read that. I just skimmed it. Carafe of water? It's been sitting there since they left, however long ago. Maybe there's stuff on these, but I doubt it. Here's where I'm going to... This is where I need to actually enter, but... The kid.
I bet I could hit that fancy one right on the nose.
Yeah, I figured the kid had nothing worth saying. I mean, you did break into the... Like, you are squatting in their home. It's like...
Can't risk being in open view.
At the ready.
There's still decent folk about.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm a terrible person, but like, it's his home and you had no right to be in it. And like, he just got back from a trip. So I think it's reasonable for him to want you to leave. Like, oh god, this area. I hate this section. Like, it's just fireworks and explosives everywhere. And if I get a bad... Okay. In this scenario, it would be better to have... that, I believe. Because I'm still going to have a plus 12. 8 to 11. 9 to 11, so as long as I don't get a 1, I'm fine. So having advantage is worth more here. So what I need to locate are the triggers, and then disarm those. Because as long as I get rid of the triggers, I can walk. Bunch of traps.
Light on my feet.
So this is the important area.
Better can crack that open.
And then this is important to read. Waiting at Felagir, put it in teddy bears, and then deliver it.
Might be worth taking Arthur's donations. Looks like his generosity's compromised. An ordinary lamp. Not a trace of magic on it.
Instruction for donations. Gifts for refugees only. Please distribute.
With haste.
It's kind of... Ooh. Bad times. Okay. I'm only sitting at an 8 to 11. That's not good. Because I didn't recast guide. I don't... Like, there's maybe something I missed down here. I got the most important part, though. And frankly, walking around making sure I'm not triggering fireworks, like the explosions of fireworks, is not an interesting time. I will steal this, though.
Marching towards the city? Better to be within its walls.
Over here, if you don't kill him, the strange ox is in there. But I killed him because I felt like it.
I have something to ask.
Do try the grass, should it take your fancy.
Such a nice ox.
Such sweetness should be shared.
Such a nice ox. Like, he's willing to share the grass. That's rude.
To take down troublemakers, so don't make trouble. What in the
Earthquake.
hell was that?
I really don't think it's nice for gameplay.
I don't remember one ever shaking the city.
Flesh to stone. Come on. I'm assuming it's a dig location, but
No use digging
it
here.
isn't. I wonder what the survival check was for.
Nothing but dirt.
What DC was it? It was only a DC 15? I rolled a 2. I rolled a 2 on a DC 15. And I still got to an 11. Literally a 6 and I would have been fine. Rough. Those are just terrible rolls. 2, 7, 2, 7. That feels a bit too coincidental. I could jump down to break in, I guess. I don't really want to. Because I don't really need to. Follow minute. I'm trying to talk to the guy.
Donations?
I'll take a donation, please.
Do you know advice? The refugees.
I like this guy.
If you don't have anything to donate, you can get going.
Something might be dangerous amongst the donations. 18 to 21 versus a 10. Which is exactly why crit fails shouldn't exist. Because I'm guaranteed to hit at least a 19 on this favorable beginnings roll. I got a 2 and I hit a 20.
I'm gonna let you through because I don't want to take any risks. But you better not be lying.
Like it's just a... If you walk past him into this area, he'll complain and then he'll explain there's a lot of people making trouble for these poor folks. On roll. Ooh, it's a DC 20. And I still have my advantage gloves on, which I actually would rather not.
Can you please give me a hug? Bet your arms would be so snug.
Where's my dex gloves?
It's only a couple of pots. I'll do it.
Where's mana?
You were right. Explosives. Now give me some room. I need to make sure the rest of these donations are safe.
Nest there.
You try and find whoever is responsible for this.
Just a, like...
I thought this assignment was going to be dull. No such luck.
Like, he's just kind of a well-meaning dude. He's what it seems like.
Seems we were patrolling around a powder keg.
I bet these guys don't have anything worth saying.
Explosives? In toys?
Yeah, they're still believing. They have no reason to doubt him.
Let's see.
Yes, you could jump down there, jump in here to sneak around and steal stuff if you were so inclined, I think. Letter of complaint is from racism. Well, not racism, but xenophobia? A random tinker?
Heads will roll for this. This transgression. This injustice.
What happened to you?
Oh, you poor, naive soul. Let me tell you
He probably is against the...
A perfectly respectable businessman wants to bring his, well, business into this fine city. And what do? They talk some absolute horse bollocks about papers and correct filing procedures and threw me in this slum. I should be loins deep in Chares's caress by now, not waddling about in filth.
Yeah, he's a rude dude. I mean, there's a lot more people here alive than I think there was when I was here last in my previous... Oh, this is an important character. Great character. Great character. For very specific reasons.
Hail, friend. Fine day, isn't it? Forgive me, you're in no mood to talk about the weather. Your journey here was a hard one, no doubt. Is this your first time in Baldur's Gate?
Not my first, but hopefully my last. I guess because I'm Githyanki, I'm not Baldurian? Or something? So if you start with Gith as your race, then you're instantly not. That maybe?
A word of advice, then. You might not get as warm a welcome as in days gone by. Used to be you'd arrive knowing you'd a full belly and a warm bed waiting for you. Not anymore. These days, there's barely enough to go around. Add the refugees on top and, well, folk aren't feeling too generous.
That's your problem, not mine.
If it were my problem, I'd do something about it. Instead, they've stuck me guard in this door while they squabble over the donations. Some well-to-dos in the city donated enough to see the newcomers right for the time being. Only they didn't bother helping everyone else. Locals going without while strangers feast. It stoked the fire, all right. Some Baldarians are kicking up a fuss round the front of the barn as we speak. If I wasn't wearing this uniform, I'd walk round there and teach them a lesson they'd never forget.
No, it wouldn't. I mean, none of these are great lines, but...
What peace? If no one steps in, there'll be bodies piled high in the streets before long. People here have gone soft, living behind the city walls, forgotten what it's like to live one day from destruction. I say we march round there and slit a few bellies, remind them how much worse things could be. What do you say?
I want to know what she says if I said the middle one, but...
Why does it matter? Innocence makes the blood run clearer.
And moment. Yeah, this armor is kind of not at all good looking.
So, you're the lick-spittle who crushed the Bone Lord's thrall. Have you come begging, sniffing for our stones?
This is not set up. It should be rotated.
Like that. A throat his black hand can't choke the spit from. You'll need to bleed and carve this city if you want to turn him to grave meat.
Grave
He
meat?
shivers at the thought. When you find the Lordling, tell him Orin is watching.
Yeah,
So
like...
Orin is a shapeshifter. How long has she been watching?
Like, she's a oh, it's a hobgoblin? Yep. It's a pretty interesting facet, seeing Orin occasionally.
So, you survived. That's more than many of my kin can say.
At least you made it. How are you holding up?
It's mainly anger that keeps me going. Zevlor was supposed to lead us.
Wait, where'd he go?
But he froze when we needed him most.
I got him out. Where'd he
I
go?
haven't seen him since the massacre on the road, which is lucky for him.
Where, like, I freed him, and then he's just gone? Where'd he go?
We made it alive.
I'm just gonna go through these quick, because these are all gonna be single lines that are not important.
We made it through hell.
What a sad situation.
Yep.
I'm really...
Worried about Umi?
They got me signed up to learn to make pots, which is dumb. I'd rather learn how to...
I mean, no, I wouldn't back up on that. You should learn to make pots. These people have names, which makes me think maybe they have actual stuff to say. Like, I don't know, maybe there's quests for talking to random folks?
Won't get us fed and watered.
I think I'm about to stop for today. 'Cause this whole area just... It just doesn't feel good. It's like, oh, wander this not great place, but just this random town.
If you're here to fill an empty...
It's like
We back up.
just a bunch of nothing. I wonder if I steal the apples if they'll complain.
Take the wood from the cart too. That'll be good for fire. If
Like,
nothing else.
but this zone is too actively calm for the moment. Like, it's... We're supposed to be working our way to fighting the big bads, but instead you're in a refugee camp. This is actually kind of neat. I do actually kind of like that. But instead you're going around in a refugee camp, doing your best to just interact with the random people. And trying to find, like, whichever little quests exist here and there. Like, there's a quest there. That's actually an okay quest. There's a quest at the circus. Well, it's not really much of a quest as far as I'm... Oh, I know there's a couple quests at the circus. I need to go down here eventually. But I'm going to talk to these people who I think are main city people who came out here to have a picnic. But that's next time. For now,
Maybe I'll take that drink after all.
it is time to stop right here. Have a good day. Bye-bye.